In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish Queen Anne neckline asymmetric conical corset. If this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark out all my basic measurements for this pattern, which includes my shoulder to bust, under bust, waistline, and add extra 6 to 7 inches for your blouse length. After this, I measured extra 6 inches at the lower part of my blouse, and I'll go ahead to mark a straight line. After drawing out, I'll go ahead to measure. Now I'll go back and I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2. I'll come down by 1 inch at this point. After marking that at this point, I'll go ahead to mark out a basic neckline of 3 inches. Then I'll connect it all the way to the shoulder. The next step is to find my chest line, which is the bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I'll draw a straight line. I'll go back and I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2 at this point. Now I'm going to place my ruler and connect a straight line. The next step is to go ahead to divide what I have at the armhole into 2 equal parts. And I'll mark the midpoint. Here I'll come out by ½ inch, place my tape and mark my round bust measurement divided by 4. I'll connect this all the way to the upper part and then connect to the armhole of the dress. Now after marking this, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to mark my darts. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2. I have 3.5. So I'm just going to mark this all the way to the lower part of my pattern. Now I'm going to place my ruler and I'm going to draw out a straight line connecting all these marks. Now after marking this, I'll divide the remaining part of my shoulder from the neckline to the shoulder into 2 and connect. I'll go ahead to mark my darts. I'll mark 1 inch here and 1 inch on the other side. If you're plus size, please go ahead to use 1.5 inches, or if you're a bit busty, please go ahead to use 1.5 inches. After marking this on both sides of my pattern, I'm going to place my ruler and connect, drawing out a straight line, and I'm also going to connect the other side also. I'll place my curved rule and I'll connect this from the bust to the under bust and repeat the same process here. Now after marking this, I'll outline with my marker. Now I'll place my tape and decide where I want my cup to be. Now I'm using 2 inches above my bust. So for a busty person, you can use 2 inches, 2.5. Whatever you're using here, make sure it's high because the cup is high. The cup of the corset is a bit high. It's covered the cleavage very well. So I'll be taking a dart intake of 1 inch on both sides. If you're plus size, please go ahead to use 1.5 inches and connect. Next is to start inserting my measurement. I will go ahead to mark my round bust circumference divided by 4. Now the dart I'll pick is this one at the over bust or chest line area. Replace and add ½ inch. This pattern you don't need much sewing allowance. I'll mark my under bust circumference and mark, then measure the dart intake, replace and add ½ inch. So I don't know if I should snatch the waistline here, but I use the actual waistline divided by 4 marked, then measure the dart intake, replace and add ½ inch. Here I'll mark my hip circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake I have here, replace, then add my sewing allowance. After I'm done marking this, I'm just going to go ahead to place my ruler and I'm going to connect this all the way from the bust to the under bust to the waist and to the blouse length. After marking this, the next step is to add your bust darts. Now to add your bust darts is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. I'll place my ruler and I'll go ahead to connect. And I'll shed this out to indicate I have a dart here. So next, I'll go ahead to mark out the sleeve area. I'm going to mark about 3 inches there and then 2.5 here. Now if you feel this is not okay, you can adjust to your own measurements for this side. Now I'll take out 0.3 inches here to tighten the yoke of this pattern, and I'll shed it out. Now this is what I have. This is to tighten this part so that it will not be gaping. Let's go ahead to mark this cup area. Now come in by 1/2 inch at the chest line and connect, because the cup bridge is a bit high too. Now connect this all the way down towards the under bust part of my pattern, and I will go ahead to connect. So after I'm done connecting this is what I have, and I'll go ahead to outline. Mark out my cup on the other side. I'll blend out my darts. Right, I'll go ahead to blend out my darts and blend out the side to meet the upper part. From there, I'll mark my nipple to nipple plus 1/2 inch, giving me 4 inches. If you're a plus size, please go ahead to mark your nipple to nipple plus 1 inch, and I'll connect. So this is what I have at this side. Now let's work on the conical effect. I'll add 1.5 inches. This is actually a conical corset, but due to the person putting it on has like big hip, that's why it's not so visible. You can use 1.5 or 2 inches and connect. Now there's room for readjustment if you're not okay with what you have. Here I'll come down by 4 inches and I'll blend it down. You can equally use 3.5. Now I'll just go ahead and draw out the scallop hemline we have here and then connect it. So this is what I have at this point. Now I'll just go ahead to divide this cup into a 3-part corset. So remember, this corset is also a transparent corset. So I'll just come up by this side, connect, and then connect towards the other side of my cup. Now this corset is a transparent corset, and you notice by the side there's a patch of Ankara in front of this dress. That patch of Ankara was actually added on top to create like a design for the dress. Blend out your darts while cutting here out. So after cutting here, we'll go ahead to cut out the cup area. You can readjust the hemline of the dress if you're not okay with what you have. Now I'll go ahead to cut out the cup area and blend out this side. Blend here also, and I'll adjust. Now I'll go ahead to cut out the cup of this corset. It's a 3-part corset, and I will cut this out and place. Now I'll also go ahead to cut this out and also go ahead to trim this out, and also on this part. So here's the 3-part corset. Join the upper part of the cup together and the lower part separate. Now let's draft out the back pattern. I've gone ahead to mark out all the basic measurements we need. The shoulder to bust shoulder to bust waistline, and 6 inches after my blouse length. Now I'll come in by my shoulder, which is 3 inches, and here I'll come down by 2 inches and go ahead to reconnect at this point. And after connecting at this part, the next step I'll take is to insert my measurement. I'm cutting this as a tartless pattern, right? Mark your bust circumference, add 1/2 inch. Mark your waist circumference divided by 4, add 1/2 inch. And mark your hip circumference divided by 4, add 1/2 inch. Then add extra 1.5 for the conical effect. Now to make sure that your front and your back pattern align, place your front pattern on your waistline this way, and then connect from that point all the way towards the hip area of the pattern, and then go ahead to readjust. Right now, for the upper part of this blouse, I made mine just slightly curved because I did not really get what was going on at that part because of the hip. It was hanging at the upper part. Now I'll just connect. So now I'll go ahead to mark the lacing area, which I'll mark 2 inches. After marking the 2 inches, I'll go ahead to connect this all the way up. Now after connecting all the way up, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to come down by 2 inches here, and I'll curve it. Now I'll go ahead to create like an oval shape, and you'll be connecting it to where your lacing stops, right? So I'll come down by 0.5 here, and at the upper part I'll come up by 0.3. Now we'll reconnect this shape so that by the time I trace out what I have here, it will not remove it. Now connect this 0.5 up and this 0.3 into the upper part. This is to tighten the yoke and the lower part area of this pattern. I'll just go ahead and I will cut this out. So if you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, leave your comment at the comment section. So after cutting the yoke, this is what I have. Then I'll just trace this out.